Just hold on. Been to places that I'll never go. Seen some faces that I'll never know. I keep dancing, but it's just a show. Whoa. Look up at the sky full of stars. Close my eyes, I only see the dark. Tell myself I wanna seize the night. Alright, and we walk this road together. You know, still feel like I'm alone. Just hold on, just hold on, just hold on.
Baby, don't you know that when I'm smoking that cloud, got my head in plumes and clouds, you're the one I think of. Baby, don't you know that it's gonna go down when I hit the bottom now, you're the one I think of.
Boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me? Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me?
Feels like I might be losing my grip, boy, I am. What you gonna say? What you gonna do when I lost control? We are lost, yeah, we lost control. Yeah, we lost control.
Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me? Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me?
Hello and good evening, folks. I guess welcome back for me. Welcome to our race. We've got Phillip Island for Porsche Cup Challenge. I was off on vacation for a week, so just getting back into the swing of things. It's looking like we have a lot of people watching that F1 race. I think it's rounding up right about now. I can't give spoilers on who's going to win, but it looks like it was quite a race. Can't wait to watch that one back. Here we're going to have an amazing race. We've got Corey Lazarus currently on pole. I believe he's got a lot of real experience on Phillip Island. It's his home track. I don't think he lives far from the track. So this is Corey Lazarus's home track from the world down under. Of course, Phillip Island is in Australia. It's actually quite a beautiful, nice flowing track. If you ever get the chance to drive it, highly recommend it. This track will punish you for any off tracks that you do incur. The grass will take you off, throw you right off that track, and there you go. Danny Hugendorn is now on pole position. We're in for quite a race, I gotta say. I'm super stoked to see these qualifying results and how the race goes. Phillip Hammer not on top is a huge shocker for me right now. So I'm super excited to see how this goes, especially with our reverse grid top 8. Let me just real quickly pull up our standings of who's P1, 2, 3, who's P1, 2, 3 for our amateur division. We've got... we have Phillip Hammer is number 1 in our season championships right now. Yuri Steinmetz is 2nd place, and Gordon Ramsay is in 3rd place. So just taking a look at our standings, our timing chart here gives a good idea. The white is the amateur division. The green is the pro division. When we look at our that was our pro drivers standings for the season. When you look at our amateur drivers for the season, we have Jason Lyons is in 1st for the amateur division with 226 points. Alexander Wilford is in 2nd for amateur division with 222. What a number, eh? And then we've got Duncan Watts in 3rd at 171 points. And not far behind Duncan, actually, is Glenn Humberstone at 166. So remember those numbers. Every single position matters. So Glenn Humberstone, who's in this race as well with Duncan Watts, all of our top 3 of every division luckily are here. But Glenn being only 5 points away from being on the podium for the season, that he's going to be a driver to watch out for, and he's got Duncan Watts to battle it out with for that final spot. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more races this season to go to declare that winner of our season championships for pro and amateur. Right now, looks like we've just got 1 more minute in qualifying, following along with Danny Hugendorn, who had that amazing flyer lap. So let's just jump into this cockpit as he hits that downhill braking zone. It's the tightest turn on the track right here. Oh, and he's using that. He's hugging the inside, it's looking like, opening up that final stretch towards the finish line. Not quite all out, and just giving that rear end a little bit of a swing, and there you go, and that is the end of the lap. And you can actually see, we're gonna head through turn 1. You can see how wild it is, especially from the driver's perspective. You are in this about top of 4th gear. Then you head into this heavy braking zone, and you can either leave yourself wide open and get a great exit, or as you just saw, dive in a little bit early and you sacrifice your exit. So practicing both lines is going to be really, really important this week. So let's pull up our qualifying results. And would you look at that? Phillip Hammer is not on pole. This is going to be an exciting week, especially Igor actually is not here this week. So he is the other normal pole position driver. So this, I can't wait. I really can't. We got Danny Hugendorn on pole position. Congratulations, Danny Hugendorn. Corey Lazarus on the home track in second position. Phillip Hammer in third. Gordon Ramsay in fourth. Yuri Steinmetz in fifth. Thorsten Seifert in sixth. We got Ryan Winfeld in seventh. Jonathan Newman in eighth. Emil Koopmans in 9. Rob A. West in 10th. Jason Lyons in 11th. Alexander Wilford and Jason Lyons battling it out for that number 1 in amateur. Of course, qualifying right beside each other. It's just like a perfect story right there. Perfect fairy tale. There you go. And we got Thomas Worm Jr. in 13, Craig Schill, newcomer, in 14, Glenn Humberstone in 15, Duncan Watts in 16. And look at that, going for third place in the amateur division. They're right beside each other. And then Alistair Hatcher in 17th. We're going to pull up our race result, our race timing tower. Where is that track map? What is the weather like? We got 22 Celsius. Okay. Here they go. They're revving on up, getting those cars ready to go. All the lights are on, lights are off, and away we go. Danny Hugendorn's got an excellent launch, and so does Phillip Hammer. He's challenging Corey Lazarus for that second position. He wants to make his moves and get right up to the very front as fast as he can. Danny Hugendorn, oh no! It looks like there's been a tangle with Gordon Ramsay and Thorsten Seifert. That is not going to help Gordon Ramsay in his championship run, but luckily for Danny Hugendorn, he is now off to the races with Corey Lazarus in tow. Phillip Hammer is still in third position. Ryan Winfeld's made up a lot of spots, up into fourth spot total, as they're now making it through one of the heaviest braking zones in our track. Duncan Watts, it's looking like, is in the last of this field. Gordon Ramsay, Thorsten Seifert, of course, last in the race right now, just through that unfortunate incident that's happened. And this is actually my first time watching any cars racing on this track, so I'm super excited. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've driven this track a little bit on my own, and I gotta say, I absolutely love the flow of this track. This is what would be more considered of a club circuit, and what I absolutely love about that is the challenge that it brings for the drivers. You can't dip a tire off, or else you're going way off. And you can see this beautiful line of Porsches coming around. Everyone's behaving very nicely. They're just trying to make it to the end, not destroy their tires, and survive so that they can continue to race even in the last moments of this 15-minute sprint. And here we're actually watching Glenn Humberstone getting closer and closer to Thomas Worm Jr. Is he gonna make a move? And this is that tricky corner. If you sacrifice your entrance, you can gain an excellent exit. And it looks like that is exactly what Glenn Humberstone is trying to do to get by Thomas Worm Jr. right about here. Oh, and we have a pass from Phillip Hammer on Corey Lazarus. We're going to have to take a quick replay at exactly how that happened. And here we go, too wide coming through. I got to learn the turn numbers. I got to do it right on the fly real quick. But Phillip Hammer is going round the outside. And Danny Hugendorn able to fight him off, but that's left the door wide open for Corey Lazarus to sneak right back through and take that position again. But is he going to throw that defensive line? That is exactly what we were expecting from the likes of Corey Lazarus. So that's put Phillip Hammer back into third position. But for how much longer? And is it going to open up the door for Ryan Winfeld and all the other cars to start coming on through? And this track is not disappointing with the amount of battling that can happen. Here we go down our front straight heading into turn one. Turn one is a test of courage. absolute test of courage. Here we got Jonathan Newman having a lot of courage, taking that inside on Emil Koopmans. Emil Koopmans is going to have to fight off that defensive line to try and find a way through. Jonathan Newman is up 2 positions total. Emil Koopman is also up 2 positions total. I'm going to have to say that both of those were gained off of Gordon Ramsay and Thorsten Seifert just going off. So those were freebies. Everyone loves a freebie. Except the people that gave up that freebie, I guess. So we still got Danny Hugendorn is in the lead, and everyone is very much in contact with each other. So I want to now take a look at where is that pass. Let's take a quick replay at that pass. How did that happen? Oh, it looks like Danny Hugendorn had a bit of a mistake. Corey Lazarus had to check up, and that's what opened the door for Phillip Hammer to start challenging for those positions. And let's not look at that too long because there's real action right now live. We've got Emil Koopmans, Jonathan Newman. Jonathan Newman, he is newer here. He's only been here for a few races. Up in the 6th position. I believe this is the highest he's been all season in terms of positioning. And he is not wanting to give that up. He's holding on to that with the skin of his teeth, throwing those defensive lines, forcing Emil Koopmans to really, really work for this spot. And Emil Koopmans, he's got a puzzle on his hands that he's got to solve. Of course, too much battling between these cars is going to create a large gap between Jonathan Newman and Emil Koopmans to the lead pack of Yuri Steinmetz all the way forward from there. And it looks like just behaving and not trying to push their luck too much is actually keeping this battle from... Basically, this is a battle for the lead of the race. Everyone is very much in contact. This is I gotta say, this is very, very impressive. So, it looks like Alexander Wilford went off track somewhere. How did that... Oh, and there goes Duncan Watts. Duncan Watts going off track. No, sorry, that's Emil Koopmans going off track. Let's just take a look at how that happened. I think this may have been a self-inflicted injury, and there you go. And that is actually the challenge of this track. You can see it firsthand right there on replay with Emil Koopmans. You dip a tire, and it will be the end of you. And that is absolutely what's so lovely about this track. And Corey Lazarus challenging for the lead right now. He's going up the left side of Danny Hugendorn, going round the outside on turn 1, having massive kahunas to take that turn as fast as he did on these tires that are now 5 laps old, and to take the lead of this race. Great pass from Corey Lazarus, now throwing the defensive line, trying to tell Danny Hugendorn, do not think about it. You are not taking this position back from me. I want this. This is my home race. This means a lot to me, and that is exactly what Corey Lazarus is shouting with his car, with his exhaust, and making him eat that exhaust. Wow, and he's starting to pull a gap on Danny Hugendorn. Danny Hugendorn looks like he's starting to struggle on those tires. And that may open him up for getting passed by Phillip the Hammer. And you know what? Don't look yet. We've got Ryan Winfeld and Yuri Steinmetz. They are hungry like a wolf. Directly behind them, ready to make a pass. They're absolutely done with eating exhaust fumes. They want to get ahead and into that clean air. You can see it on their driving. In their driving, you can see it on their faces. And away we go, heading onto the front straight into our major passing zone. Oh, it looks like Yuri Steinmetz went off a little bit. Luckily, did not lose too much. But that's opened the door for Jonathan Newman to make a pass on that front straight. Oh! And something has happened to Phillip the Hammer. We have to take a quickie look at exactly what happened. Oh, and that's unfortunate. That is a very unfortunate. It's a very, very tricky braking zone, and that's put Phillip the Hammer into a not very great spot. And if he's lucky, he has 7 minutes, and he can bow himself back up into one of the reverse grid top 8s. But that is an unfortunate situation for Phillip the Hammer. Ryan Winfeld may be feeling bad about that one. I hope he does, anyways. But at least we have 3 drop weeks for incidents and bad things that may happen, such as this. No one likes to see that happen, and my heart goes out to him definitely. When I think everyone has a little bit of a broken heart when they see something like that. Fortunately for Jonathan Newman, taking advantage of everyone else's misfortune, car 314 is up in the 4th position, ahead of Yuri Steinmetz, ahead of Rob A. West, ahead of Thomas Worm Jr., up 4 positions total, having the race of his life. Yuri Steinmetz is wanting that spot back, challenging in turn 1 on the inside, but is he going to be able to hold it? Yes, and there you go, Yuri Steinmetz has made his way through. So Jonathan Newman is now only up 3 positions total, but that's still a hell of a drive with this field that he's got surrounding him. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful behind that wheel of car 314. Bloody brilliant. Let's take a quickie look at Rob A. West, Thomas Worm Jr. They're real close, fighting it out. 4-6 position. Rob A. West having good exit out of that current corner. I'm gonna have to pull up real quick. Phillip Island Circuit. What are the turn numbers or turn names? I need to know those names. Okay. Here we go. Oh, something has happened to Rob. He's gone off the track. While I was looking up the turn names, here we go. Here is what happened with Rob West. Oh, and he just a little bit of under braking, a little bit of grass, and that's exactly what happens when you get just a little bit of grass. You're down many positions. That is a very nice recovery from Rob West, actually, to not lose the car completely, bring it back onto the track with only a few spots down, and that's the skill that Rob West does have. Oh, and Alexander Wilfer is up 3 positions. Still right beside and right behind. I shouldn't say beside, I should say behind. Right behind Alexander Wilfer. So these 2 cars right here, Jason Lyons, number 1 in amateur division, followed very closely by number 2 in amateur division, Alexander Wilfer. They're a few points separated from each other, about 4 points, I believe it was, as we said earlier. So every single position is going to matter. Being a little bit more steady, a little bit more consistent. Jason Lyons has a huge advantage. He is in that reverse grid top 8 for the feature. That is exactly where Alexander Wilfer wants to be, but he doesn't want to take the risk and make a pass that can actually have him lose more positions than he wanted to lose. Oh, it looks like Glenn Humberstone a little bit excited on the throttle. It looks like he spun himself around town. Let's just take a real quick look while we can. Oh, no. That's after the fact. Yep. Oh, there you go. And just a little bit excited. Luckily, Duncan Watts, he was on his toes and he was able to allow Glenn Humberstone to filter between those 2 cars. That was close. We have 3 minutes left to go in our race. We got Danny Hugendorn is in second. Corey Lazarus has broken away and created a gap to our pole position sitter from our qualifying, and Ryan Winfeld is up 4 spots to be into the top 3. Yuri Steinmetz is up 1 spot. I believe that's off of just Phillip the Hammer going off and having his little bit of an incident oopsie with Ryan Winfeld, and so that's where Yuri Steinmetz's position gained is from. Jonathan Newman is up 3 spots total, having a beautiful drive himself. Here comes Thomas Worm Jr. They are heading around. Oh, that Siberia is one of the turn names. That's hilarious. This is called Miller Corner right now, heading into turn 5. Oh, and this Thomas Worm Jr. making a pass on Jonathan Newman. This is called Siberia as we head out of turn 6. This is turn 7 right here. This is a quickie right heading up turn 8. Lukey Heights is turn 9. This is where they're going right now. This would be the most challenging part of the track, I gotta say, in my experience. And then this is the most challenging braking zone right here. Thomas Worm Jr. is now creating a little bit of a gap to Jonathan Newman, it's looking like, with Craig Schill in tow. Craig Schill having a great showing for what? This is great. Yeah, this is his first race, if my memory serves me right. And a lot of names that I'm always reading, and I don't think that I've read his yet. And here you go. You got Barney waving that white flag. So one more lap. So Thomas Worm Jr.'s got to hold on for one more lap to the likes of Jonathan Newman. Jonathan Newman wants that spot back. He's now up only 2 positions, but that is still a great drive from the likes of this amateur driver. Oh yeah, it looks like Alexander Wilfert has made a pass. I want to take a quick look at that because this is a pivotal moment. Absolutely pivotal moment. Oh, it looks like Jason Lyons went a little wide under braking, and that's allowed Alexander Wilfert to get himself into that reverse grid top 8, and that is gonna really shake up the amateur driver standings this season. Every race matters, every position matters. You see it there, and Alexander Wilfert has broken through. Following along with the leader of our race, Corey Lazarus, he's heading into this downhill braking zone. You can see that massive drop that they have to deal with every single lap after lap, coming around the final few corners. Corey Lazarus followed by Danny Hugendorn, Ryan Winfeld, and Yuri Steinmetz not far behind. And there you go, Corey Lazarus taking that checkered flag. Congratulations, Corey Lazarus for P1, Danny Hugendorn for P2, Ryan Winfeld for P3, Yuri Steinmetz in P4, Jonathan Newman P5, Thomas Worm Jr. P6, Craig Schill P7, Alexander Wilfert P8, Jason Lyons P9. Put himself outside of that reverse grid top 8. Rob A. Weston P10, also outside of it, wasn't inside that top 8 before, and now he's not. Duncan Watson P11, Emil Koopmans in P12, Phillip Hammer in P13, Glenn Humberstone in 14, Alistair Hatcher in 15, Gordon Ramsay in 16, Thorsten Seifert is there. Not sure what happened with Gordon Ramsay and Thorsten Seifert at the beginning, but yeah, let's see if we have some time to take a look real quick before this ends. Oh, no. It cut my replay too quick. So let's just take a quick look once again. They have a 2-minute warm-up. This is just a nice little break for the drivers. They can either use this to go practice the track just a little bit more, or they can just relax, chill out their body, chill out their mind, and try and give themselves a nice reset. It's definitely what some of the drivers are going to be needing to get themselves ahead for this next feature race. We have a 30-minute feature race coming hard and heavy. No pit stops. So making these tires last 30 minutes, making your brain, your mentality of staying consistent to last 30 minutes, that is the Porsche Cup Challenge. It's not easy, and I guarantee you anyone who can continually show up race after race and go through our challenge that we offer for you guys will definitely increase their driving ability, their skill, everything. They will become a better driver after the experience. So I definitely invite all of you to come try it. The larger the fields, the better. The smaller the fields, the more intimate I would say it is. When you have a smaller field, it's they're both good. They're both definitely good experiences. Good, big and small. Fried Plantain. Hey, thanks for the welcome back. Yeah, I was off for vacation for 1 week. We went north of Toronto. I live in Canada here. And on our last day, it started snowing. I think we left and there's about a foot and a half, 2 feet of snow, or 60 centimeters. Let's say six. Not. It was piling up, of course, into certain areas and drifts and so on. But I would say easily 60 centimeters of snow, 2 feet, around that. So it was real interesting. It was a little bit of a treat. My birthday was yesterday, and then two days ago, it was 20 Celsius. Super, super warm. And then all of a sudden today, snowing. It's, hey, welcome to Canada. Born here and raised here. I love it. I actually love it. Let's get rid of that. Let me see if I can pull up a track map this time. Yep, there we go. Now we've got a track map. We can actually follow on the right of our screen all of our drivers as they go along our track here, and see as we go how far they either how far they get apart from each other or how close they are to each other. If there's any driver that you guys want to see, any of your favorite drivers, give a shout out and I can follow along. Trying not to do any broadcast curse this week, but here you go. Oh, and all the drivers are ready to go. The lights are on. Everyone's at the grid in their car, ready to go. 3, 4, 5 lights. Lights are off now. Away we go. We got Alexander Wilford is in the lead. He's being chased down by Thomas Worm Jr. Craig Shield did not get the start that he was looking for, and we have a whole bunch of cars heading towards turn 1. Are we going to make it through without any collisions this time? I sure hope so. It's looking pretty good. Should have put my money on that one. We have a whole bunch of cars going 2 wide. This track is wide enough to facilitate easy 2 wide, 3 wide if you're really willing. And here we go. Alexander Wilford is still in the lead of this race, being chased down by Thomas Worm Jr. Corey Lazarus was the winner of our sprint race, and already, oh no, an unfortunate event. We're gonna have to review that later on, but we can't look away because there's still a lot of cars out there racing. There's a lot happening. Oh, and Phillip the Hammer is in 10th. He's up 3 spots. Oh, and here we go. Phillip Hammer is challenging Glenn Humberstone for that position. Glenn Humberstone getting the best of that one, going the shorter distance traveled, and that's actually allowed Emil Koopmans to get ahead as well. So something must be wrong with Phillip Hammer. Maybe there's a slowdown. I'm not sure, but he gave those ones up real easy. Oh, and Emil Koopman's trying to go round the outside on Glenn Humberstone. Oh, it looks like Phillip Hammer has some damage to his car, and that would explain it. And he's going through the pits. He needs a quick repair on his car, so that would be it. That's the answer. Here we go. Alistair Hatcher and Danny Hugendorn going through turn 1. It looks like Danny Hugendorn has the bravery to stick it out, and that's gained him 1 position there. And just ahead of him is Emil Koopmans and Glenn Humberstone battling it out. And that's actually allowed Emil Koopmans to get up alongside. Yeah, he's up alongside. There is so much action happening, I cannot take it all, and Glenn Humberstone is losing potentially 2 positions here. Danny Hugendorn taking advantage of the door wide open. Glenn Humberstone's got less distance to travel. Is he going to be able to make it work? No, he's not. And Danny Hugendorn is now through as well. So Glenn Humberstone still having a great drive, up 2 positions total. I gotta say, that is still not a bad drive at all. So, yeah, there's a lot happening. You know what? This track does not disappoint. Let's go right up to the leader of our race. Alexander Wilford is in the leader of this race. He's now, at this point, if he finishes very well, will be potentially the leader of the amateur division. So he has a lot on the line going for him right now. He's got 27 minutes of racing left to go. So it's not over yet. It's not over till the fat lady sings. I don't know if anyone's heard that expression for a while or not, but yeah. heading into turn. Wow, all of these cars are still very much in contact with each other. This is absolutely wild. And I think that Corey, let me see. Corey, where is Corey? Has made a pass. Craig Schill for P4. I want to take a quick look at how did this pass take place. So this is Corey Lazarus going, oh, I remember this one. And that's, oh, okay. That's that incident. And that's how Corey got up into P4. P3. Where's the pass for P3? Gotta follow the hometown hero. Here's the pass for P3 from Corey Lazarus. Looks like the same corner, just being a little bit better under braking and able to get that rocket launch out. And yeah, being the hometown hero. And you know what? And he's now made another pass. Corey Lazarus is up into P2 with Alexander Wilfert. Enough with the replays. Let's get to the live action, right? Wow. What do you call a flock of kangaroos? Because that's what we're seeing right here. Wow. Heading through turn 1. Everyone's being real brave. Launching that car through that corner. And it looks like Jonathan Newman, Corey Lazarus passed Jonathan Newman for P3. Okay, yeah, I see where that happened. I'll look at that replay shortly. Heading into, the name of this corner is Miller Corner, and this is one of the heavier braking zones. Quite a bit of a hairpin. Ryan Winfield making the best of that one. He's battling out with Yuri Steinmetz, but Yuri Steinmetz is not giving it up easy, going a little bit wide, forcing Ryan Winfield to use all of the track on that outside. And now Ryan Winfield is basically where he started in this feature race, and he's, I'm sure, sweating it out behind the wheel of that car. Yuri Steinmetz is exactly where he started, and he's not wanting to lose any positions. None of these drivers do. Every one of them seems to be exactly where they started, except for the likes of Corey Lazarus. Oh, a little bit of a bump. I hope that there is no, yep, okay, no one's worse for the wear up there, back there. But Corey Lazarus is now chasing down Alexander Wilfert for the lead of this race. Here we go. Heading into turn 1, this corner again is all about that bravery, and if you can get that great exit, I'm going to have to guess Corey Lazarus go for the inside. No, he doesn't. He's going to wait it out, and he's going to try and pick him apart slowly rather than just savagely rip away from him. And so that's exactly the game plan of Corey Lazarus, as you can see. Alexander Wilfert's got a lot on his hands, but he's still in first place, still in the lead of this race, and a real great spot to score real great points for our season. Corey Lazarus coming around, heading towards Miller Corner. He's going to go for that inside dive under braking, and he goes for it. Alexander Wilfert giving it up easy. It's definitely the smarter way to go. Don't lose too much time. The guy's clearly faster than you, and as Adam Morrow always said, it's all a little bit about that. Well, as Adam Morrow says, it's about that pecking order. And when that faster guy comes a knocking, you just, you know what, let him on through, because it's going to serve your race much better than battling it out, losing time, and losing a lot of positions. And so that wise move from Alexander Wilfert has kept him in the second and given him a sweet, sweet draft to follow from Corey Lazarus. Unfortunately for Wilfert, you can see all of these cars coming down that hill. That is a scary, scary sight to see. All of these cars very, very close to each other. So, I want to see Rob West win off the track. How did that happen? Oh! I don't know how that one... Oh! Yep, that tire barrier's gotta hurt. I hope your neck's okay after that one, but... We've got Yuri Steinmetz is in 5th. Closer than ever to Jonathan Newman. Jonathan Newman leaving that door wide open. Yuri Steinmetz thinking the better of it than and not going for that gap. Thinking about the exit. How can he get him into Miller Corner? And as they head around towards that braking zone, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's too far behind. And there you go. Yuri Steinmetz is going to have to weigh it out and try and solve the puzzle some other way. Of course, Ryan Winfeld is also trying to solve his own puzzle while he has the Flying Scott. We're going to call him the Flying Scott today in 7th position, who's up 9 spots total, having a wonderful drive to be up 9 spots into 7th position. He's now behind Ryan Winfeld as well, so he's joined this front pack for the battle of the podium. Jason Lyons is in 8th position. Something has happened to Alistair Hatcher. Let's just take a quickie look at what happened. Oh, and just a little bit wide, a little bit of understeer, and that's allowed Duncan Watts, Thorsten Seifert, and so on. Oh, something's happened to Jonathan Newman, gone a little bit wide. Oh, and that wonderful drive that Newman was having is now at the end of its life, it seems like, and Danny Hugendorn taking advantage of that off track as well. I'm gonna have to take a look at exactly what had him go off track, so let's take a quick look. As you just saw. Not sure what happened there. It looked like maybe a little bit of contact, maybe not. But that unfortunate incident has brought Jonathan Newman down into 9th spot. Oh, and Gordon Ramsay has gone off. We're going to have to take a look at exactly how that one happened. That may have been Gordon Ramsay just being a little bit excited, making that pass and not having it work out for him in the end. Yeah, and here, oh, no, looks like he did on his own. Oh, no, self-inflicted injury. Those are the ones that they hurt, but they mostly hurt them. The driver hurts the most on that one. They're just looking at that time delta and thinking, "Oh, why did I do that?" And that was the life for Gordon Ramsay on that moment. He had such a beautiful, wonderful drive up to that point. He's still in 9th position, up 7 total, so it's nothing to scuff at. But could have been better. I actually want to take a quick look at Phillip Hammer, who's in 16th position. Rob A. West is out after hitting that tire barrier. That may be a neck injury for him. But yeah, Phillip Hammer is back there. Okay, Danny Hugendorn going round the outside in turn 1. Wow, that's not something you see very much. Making it work on Jonathan Newman, throwing that defensive line, not letting him have that spot back. Danny Hugendorn's now up into 7th. I have a few things to look at. I see Emil Koopmans went off track. I want to see, how did that one happen? Oh, just going wide. Just a little bit of understeer, missing the braking point, and that's thrown Emil Koopmans right to the very back of the field. And even Craig Schill and Alistair Hatcher battling it. It looks like Craig Schill went off the track, and that's allowed Alistair Hatcher to break on through. Duncan Watson, I love this paint scheme, I gotta say. It's clean, it's simple, it's right to the point, and it's sharp. As you see him come down that downhill braking zone, just being nice and consistent has served Duncan Watts well all season long. He's our Sunday driver, Steady Eddie. And he is in 3rd position for our season. We got Jason Lyons and Alexander Wilford ahead of him, and he's battling off Glenn Humberstone. Glenn Humberstone is 2 spots ahead of Duncan, so he has a long way to go if he wants to try and hold on to his 3rd spot in this season. But being 2 spots, every position counts for 1 point total. And so that's why every single position matters all season long. And so Duncan Watts has a little bit of ways to go if he wants to get right up to Glenn Humberstone and really secure his 3rd spot. So that's going to become an interesting battle with a few races to go. Oh, it looks like Thorsten Seifert went wide. So did Glenn. And there you go. Duncan Watts making the pass. And there's 2 spots down. They basically just reversed their order. Glenn Humberstone, he had a chance to make a pass in the season standings on Duncan Watts, and one little mistake, and now he's back to basically fourth, fourth in the season. That's how tight our standings are. That's how hard this track is, how hard this car is. Corey Lazarus making easy work of this field. He won our Thursday race. He's got a good chance of winning this race on Sunday for the Euro Global division. Rumor has it this guy wakes up at 4 a.m., breathes and eats Porsche Cup fuel for breakfast, gets into his driver's seat, and just off he goes. You know what? Look at him go. He's 4 seconds ahead of second spot of Alexander Wilford, who's now coming around that corner. That corner, of course, Doohan corner is number 1, and Southern Loop is turn 2. As they head towards Miller corner, and I find this hilarious. That's called Siberia. It's turn 6. There you go. This corner right here is called Siberia. Heading around Siberia, which is turn 6. Exiting this corner, it's real easy to get on the throttle too soon and lose a lot of time. All these drivers having a little bit of patience is paying off. As you can see, that excellent exit, especially for P2 of Alexander Wilford. This is Lukey Heights, turn 9. Towards this downhill braking zone. Ryan Winfield getting a little bit wild with his rear end in the rear view mirror of Wilford. And that's going to help, I'm sure, Wilford out with Ryan just killing those rear tires if he keeps that one up. These cars, no traction control, no ABS. It's all driver. It's absolutely all driver. Every bit of it, every single corner, every single braking zone, every acceleration point, all of it is driver. Right to the very end, every one of those corners matters to keep those tires in check until the very end. Just taking a look at Glenn Humberstone and Alistair Hatcher battling out for P12 in the back of the field, but you know what? Every single position matters. And none of these drivers giving up. We've seen some off tracks, some on track, and some off track, wow, it took me this long to tongue tie, eh? That's a new record. I like that. You can see Emil Koopman's having some challenge of understeer behind, but here out of the Southern Loop is Alistair Hatcher leading out Glenn Humberstone. Glenn Humberstone getting closer and closer. These guys have the same paint scheme, so I'm gonna have to guess that they're teammates. I don't know. Let's guess that they are. We'll go with that. Maybe they're brothers. I have no idea. Brothers, cousins, sisters, aunts. Sisters, yeah. Anyways. Emil Koopmans, who finished watching that F1 race, came in to join us late, is challenging Glenn Humberstone for 13th, which is putting a lot of pressure onto him and not letting Glenn think about that battle he had with Alistair just moments ago. And so Emil's thinking about how to go up the inside, round the outside, how to solve this puzzle. Emil Koopmans has the pace, but does he have the mindset to get around Glenn Humberstone? It's anybody's guess. But we're going to follow along and see how this story unfolds. Actually, before that, I want to take a look at Gordon Ramsay. Oh, and Jason Lyons. Oh, something's happened to Jason Lyons. Okay, and back to Glenn Humberstone and Emil Koopmans. Emil Koopmans, does he dive for the inside? No, he's not able to get there soon enough. Glenn Humberstone guarding that inside. And you know what that's done? That's actually brought Craig Schill into the mix. So this is one fine example right here of how battling it out, defending, going side by side. Oh, and Emil Koopman's going to have to go round the outside. Is he going to make it work? Oh, and there you go. A little bit of the over-under. And Glenn Humberstone loses it out and braking, and that's broken away Emil Koopman's to now look at Alistair Hatcher as his next target. Just a little bit of patience goes a long way. And that's put Glenn Humberstone even further out of reach from Duncan Watts, who's just being nice, steady, and consistent. He's now got Thorsten Seifert to worry about. Oh, and wow, something has happened. Let's take a look at what that was. Oh, and Gordon Ramsay under braking. Let's see, where does... Oh, he tried to go for the inside and not able to make it safely, and there you go. Looks like Ryan Winfeld is challenging Alexander Wilford for second. So Alexander Wilford now has a lot on his plate to deal with. So that gap that he had is now closed. He has a lot of very fast, very competent drivers directly behind him. Yuri Steinmetz, Dan Hugendorn, and Thomas Worm Jr. So Ryan Winfeld is the first to break through Alexander Wilford. So that Ryan Winfeld, yeah, those names sound quite similar to me. So Ryan Winfeld's the first to break through. Now you got Yuri Steinmetz, and he's trying to find how to solve this puzzle. Danny Hugendorn and Thomas Worm Jr. Thomas Worm Jr. down 3 positions in this sprint race. But with the reverse grid top 8, that's not a bad performance still. Following along with Yuri Steinmetz, getting real close to Alexander Wilford. And is he going to follow that pecking order? Yeah, and Alexander Wilford is giving up that inside, and he's following that rule of thumb of the pecking order, just making it seamless, making it easy. Don't lose too much time. And that is smart racing, because we're here for the season's points. But if Wilford gives up too many positions, he'll be positioned with Jason Lyons, who's in 7th. Worst case scenario, definitely, for Wilford is to give up all these positions, end up 6th, and Jason Lyons is in 7th. That is not going to help his season championship run. They are, of course, four points away from each other. But... definitely wants more than less, as anyone would. How far back is Jason Lyons? Jason Lyons has Duncan Watts to worry about, and Thorsten Seifert to worry about. Oh, it looks like Emil Koopmans has gone off. Okay. May have lost it under braking. Oh, Phillip Hammer, he's finally got some action. He's now battling out with Glenn Humberstone once again. Trying to go around the outside, not able to make it work. Glenn Humberstone defending with everything that he's got to the hammer. Phillip Hammer, our season champion last season, our season leader currently. He's just having real bad luck. I think he threw his rabbit's foot in the garbage for this week. He's trying a kangaroo foot, so I hear. Oh, and it looks like Alistair Hatcher has gone around town. Let's just take a quick look at how did that happen. Oh, just a little bit too much throttle. He's going round town and breaking it down and doing a little bit of breakdancing. Not having a good time on that one, I'm sure. But you know what? That's a beach vacation well deserved. There you go. Phillip Hammer's making the round, the long way round work. And yeah. Oh no, and here you go. Alexander Wilford is down 1 more spot to Danny Hugendorn. He is just losing spot after spot. Let's just take a quick look at how did that one happen. Oh, and into Miller Corner, the dive up the inside from Danny Hugendorn. Excellent on the brakes from both cars, nobody going off, and away they go. So Alexander Wilford's worst nightmare is coming true at the moment, losing 1 spot after the other after such a wonderful drive, still a wonderful drive. And now he's got Thomas Worm Jr., luckily a 1.5 second interval gap between them, and so he's got 7 minutes to go, and he's got to keep his wits about him and stay as far ahead as possible. Looks like Wilford had an excellent launch out of that last corner, excellent exit, and so that's paying off. Oh, we've got a 2-wide situation with Ryan Winfeld and Yuri Steinmetz. Yuri Steinmetz up the inside into the southern bend. Less distance traveled is going to pay off for 164 as he exits out of this corner and now into second place on Ryan Winfeld, who's just had to give up that sweet second spot. Danny Hugendorn now challenging for third. Danny Hugendorn's got to go round the outside under braking, and then Ryan Winfeld throwing that defensive line, not letting him through. Danny Hugendorn's got to find another way to get by. Course battle too much, and it's possible that something could happen, or even just Alexander Wilford makes his way through and takes advantage of these doors that are left open. So anything can happen. That's racing. That's racing, baby. And here we go into the hardest braking zone of our circuit. Going downhill under braking is never easy. Oh, and Thorsten Seifert went off the track. Let's take a quick look at how did that one happen. Oh, he got super excited. Oh, and he just wanted to go check out the kangaroos over there. There's a kangaroo. He wanted to go shake its hand, or maybe he wanted to punch it in the face, and yeah, there you go. Vacation from the world down under. I'm going to just take a quick look at the leader of our race, Corey Lazarus, who's in first position, obviously. 6 to 7 seconds now gap to second. It's now his race to lose. He's got to keep his wits about him for another 5 full minutes, a whole bunch of laps. But with that amount of gap, and you can see in the background the cars coming around Miller Corner. So that's a large gap. He can just drive nice and stress-free, manage his tires, and pull out another win, making his home team proud. Ryan Winfeld it looks like Ryan Winfeld has created a little bit of a gap to Danny Hugendorn, able to break away and bring his focus back on that battle for second with Yuri Steinmetz. So Danny Hugendorn, a little bit of that gap, not favorable, and he's got Alexander Wilford on his tail, trying to gain some of those season points back. Oh, and let's see, does Danny Hugendorn get that exit? It looks like Wilford is having an excellent exit, a little bit wide from Hugendorn. I'm going to have to say Wilford's going to make the move. Does he go for this move up the inside? No, he's going to wait it out. Danny Hugendorn throwing a defensive line, forcing Wilford to go around the outside. And that is not going to happen. It looks like Wilford, for now, is happy being in fifth spot. I'm going to have to put my money on Wilford's just trying to psych out Danny Hugendorn and see if he can force Hugendorn to make a mistake. That's where my money's at. Wilford, a very competent driver, and I can definitely see him trying to make that one happen, and maybe it will happen. We'll have to see. I want to take a quick look at Jonathan Newman. He had that little bit of a tango with Gordon Ramsay earlier, a little bit of a bump from behind, I think it was. Gordon Ramsay, it looked like he stopped. He wanted to give that position back, and so that's what brought these two cars back together. Gordon Ramsay is ahead in 9th, Jonathan Newman in 10th. Not bad spots to be at all, I gotta be honest. It's just a little far back from that lead pack. With this smaller field, it's definitely a bit more of that, I'd say, intimate type of race. And so luckily these guys still have someone to tango with, to dance with. That's all you can ask for sometimes, right? I want to take a quickie look at Jason Lyons. Looks like he's on a nice big island. He's all alone. And that's actually a comfortable place to be in. The unfortunately hard part about this is there's no one around him in front of him, behind him, to challenge him. And what can happen to a lot of drivers is the mind starts wandering. And when that mind wanders, you start to miss a breaking point. You start to miss that apex. And then you go off, and then you lose a lot of spots. And so Jason Lyons really has to focus right now and stay consistent and not let that mind wander as he's coming out of the southern loop. and this is called Stoner Corner. I'm gonna have to guess that's Mark Stoner. I think it's Mark Stoner, the motorcycle rider. One of the best motorcycle riders I've ever seen. I don't know his. I know his last name, not first name. I believe it's Mark Stoner. Oh, and here we go. Emil Koopmans, Alistair Hatcher, and Glenn Humberstone. Oh, a little bit of contact. You can hear the cars banging each other. This is led by Emil Koopmans, who made a pass. Let's take a look at how did that one happen. Oh, into turn one, the corner of bravery. Emil Koopman up the inside, short distance travel, using that to his advantage, and that's put him ahead. So Emil Koopmans, after all of his oopsie daisies, all of his offs, is now in 13th. Oh, and here we go. Alistair Hatcher is challenging for that spot back. He does not want to give it up easy. Oh! Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. That is very fortunate for Glenn Humberstone. Very unfortunate for Alistair Hatcher, and really unfortunate for Emil Koopmans. That may be one for the stewards. We may have to take a look at that one once again, but off to the stewards they go. Corey Lazarus now built an even larger gap. He is up to 7.3 seconds home field advantage at work here. He's on the last lap of this race right now. Yuri Steinmetz in second. He's broken away just a little bit from Ryan Winfield, as you can see. Ryan Winfield now has Danny Hugendorn to worry about, who's broken away from Alexander Wilford. But don't look too far, and there's Thomas Worm Jr. in the background. Jason Lyons is much further behind, so he is not really a part of this equation. And yeah, here you go, Corey Lazarus coming across that start-finish line. There you go, congratulations, Corey Lazarus, for winning that race. Yuri Steinmetz in second, Ryan Winfield rounding out the podium in third, Danny Hugendorn in fourth, Alexander Wilford, great drive from the likes of car number 79. Thomas Worm Jr. in 6th. Jason Lyons is in 7th. Duncan Watts, the steady Eddie of our Sunday evening crew, in 8th. Gordon Ramsay is in 9th. Jonathan Newman in 10th. Phillip Hammer, I'm sure not where he wanted to be. He is in 11th. He's up 2 spots, but again, not where he wanted to be. But that's okay. Nobody likes a quitter, and Phillip Hammer did not quit. Craig Schill in 12th. Glenn Humberstone coming around, able to fight off Emil Koopman and Alistair Hatcher and come out ahead of them, come out above them in 13th. Emil Koopman in 14th. Alistair Hatcher in 15th. Thorsten Seifert in 16th. Rob West in 17th. He's just out, and yeah, there you go. Let's take a look at our results. And there you go. Yeah, congratulations once again, Corey Lazarus, for winning this race, winning Thursday's race. Home field advantage coming through, and wow, what a drive. And I gotta say, that was quite a race. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that one. And Phillip Island did not disappoint. I think having a smaller crowd actually made that a better race. If too big of a crowd, it may have been absolute chaos. So I'm really happy to see all the drivers who did show up. I hope every one of you guys had a great time out there. And if you do like our league, and if you're in our league, you do like our league, please remember to subscribe with your Amazon Prime subscription. It does not renew every month, so you sort of have to auto-renew it yourself, manually renew it yourself. And if you do like our league enough that you're willing to donate some money, please read the post, or if you have questions, please private message or post in our channel towards the admins, and we'll be able to set you up or help you out, guide you, and yeah, and that was it. That is our race, Euro Global Division, Week 9 at Phillip Island. Hope you all have fun watching this back, and I'll see you guys next week. See ya later.
rock them down. Are you done?
No.
Are you done?
No.